they're gonna hear this lovely story.
Let's go.
All right, should we start the podcast?
Hold on, I was trying to describe.
Okay,
something.
I'm sorry. Work. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like a fucking train.
We have this cold opening regardless. So they test you for STDs, and they also test your liver and your kidney function because it can interrupt your kidney function. So it's an at-home kit though. So this is what you have to do. First, you have to swab the back of your throat.
Shit in the tube. Okay.
No.
What?
You don't shit in the tube. Swab the back of your throat, put it in a test tube, Ziploc bag it.
Okay.
Then you have to collect a urine sample. So you get all your urine, you put it in a test tube, put it in a bag, good. Sure. Then you have to get a rectal swab.
There it is.
So you have to get this dry ass Q-tip, which you cannot lubricate because it has to be sterile.
What are you getting tested for? John asks.
It's STDs plus
HIV and more.
Yeah, booty scoop.
Should be the name of the service.
And then you put the stick, the little Q-tip, up your ass, and it says you have to turn and twist the swab. Dry fucking Q-tip up your rectum.
Oh my god! Jackie just subscribed with tier 1. Thanks, Jackie. Hello.
Oh, thanks, Jackie.
Jackie's trying to interrupt the story.
I know, it's almost over. And then to actually test for HIV and your kidney function, you have to prick your finger and you have to give blood.
Jesus Christ, you're getting all your fluids almost.
Yeah, except my cum.
I gotta pay for that.
You get a card and you have to prick your finger and you have to squirt your blood onto this card and fill up these little circles and send it back, and then they get your blood off of it and they test it. But I'm all good. I'm all negative.
Nice.
So do you have to prick your finger multiple times?
No, what they say is you hold it below your heart, get your lancet, and I was so scared to use the lancet.
Yeah.
I was like, I kept touching it, and I was like, when is it going to happen? I just went, and then you have to massage the finger. You have to massage it.
Is it that little tiny thing that you, like, put over your finger?
No, it's the one you just push against it.
Oh, okay.
And then they just...
T asks, can they test for any and everything at that point?
I mean, they can test for basically almost every STI/STD. They don't test for certain things. Like they won't test you for herpes. They test for chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV.
Wait, is this the thing that was on Shark Tank where they have they have so many different types of tests? Like there's all of the STD tests, but they also have like at-home allergy tests.
Yeah, the company does a bunch of different
types. I want
that. I also want that. I want to see what allergies I have.
It's called NURX, N-U-R-X.
I think this is what I was looking at the other day.
I'm going to write that down.
$21 and I'm getting 3 months of prep, 90 pills.
Anti-aging treatment. Can they put me in a cryo freezer? That's fun.
Anyway, everyone, welcome to another live episode of the What Did the Gays Think podcast.
Oh my god.
We are live on Twitch. This is not a joke. Do not adjust your screens. We all look this hideous.
Turn the TV off.
Speak for yourself. Jackie looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you.
What?
I am joined by my co-host, with fat ass Matthew, and also co-joined with my other co-host, who's currently dying, Jackie, who apparently chugged 50 milliliters of CBD before we started.
I did. I just chugged it, threw it right down the hatch.
Imagine 50 milliliters of CBD oil. Just.
I really can't. I can't. I have. No.
Anyway.
No ripped pants this time, says T. Yep, no ripped pants.
Today the main topic is mommy. Mommy?
Mommy milkers?
Sorry.
Mommy. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy.
Sorry, mommy. Sorry.
Sorry, mommy. Multiverse of Madness. So if you haven't seen Multiverse of Madness or you don't want to get spoiled for Multiverse of Madness, you're going to have to leave.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If anyone hasn't seen Multiverse of Madness and wants to see it, please go away.
So would this be like a good time to tell you I haven't actually seen it?
Well, you told me you flooded that theater again.
I didn't flood the theater,
so
but legally I
such a gaslighter, Jackie.
You weren't actually watching the movie, though. You just walked in, opened Niagara Falls, and then you left.
I walked out. Yep, I was never there.
Jackie just fell asleep actually in the movie theater, but just still opened Niagara Falls
Yeah.
while
All
sleeping.
your live stream spoilers. Well, we like to talk about things we see, and it often coincides with popular things that not everyone has seen but want to see. So we just want to give everyone a heads up before we start talking about the gratuitous amounts of fun stuff that happened in the film.
Listen, if you're in the stream and you want to see Multiverse of Madness, I highly suggest you just mute the tab for now so that we do get the view, but you won't get the spoilers. Just
and then
saying.
Come back, because this episode's going to go live next week. Come back after you see it and just watch it either on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify or any podcasting platform you can find it at.
Also,
yes,
since we might be doing a game after we do the podcast episode, we can post in our Discord once we've concluded talking about Mommy, so that you can come back and hang out for fun shenanigans.
Yeah.
Liv, make sure you mute, unfollow, and unsubscribe, says T.
God bless. Let's get started, because I feel like we could talk about this a lot, so let's jump right in. Mommy. Oh,
there goes Jackie's camera.
I'm here.
Okay, so Multiverse of Madness it's Doctor Strange sequel, but really it's really not his sequel, if we're gonna be honest.
It's like a WandaVision sequel.
Yeah.
This film draws heavily from the events of WandaVision, and really that's it.
Hey, Anthony. Anthony's in chat. Hello.
Hello. So, let's start with, let me think. Let's start with something really general. Did you like the movie? What would you rate it? Let's give the rating at the top. Let's say a rating out of 10.
Is the rating for a Marvel movie or just as a movie?
Ooh, how about you do both?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as like a film, as a subject of a film, or as just a Marvel film in comparison to the rest of the Marvel pantheon.
John rates it a 7.9 apparently.
I 7.9.
not exactly an 8, but
well, which one is that? Is that for a film or for a Marvel film? We need both numbers.
Matt, why don't you go first?
Oh, sure. I was going to give you the chance to speak, Jackie, but sure. I can go.
Taking
Anthony,
women's speech.
Okay, work.
If he usurped my rights?
You literally asked me.
Did you see that? He literally took it from me.
You're gonna have that baby.
Oh my God! Stop. Okay. I'm gonna have to. Anthony rates it a 7. I think I'm gonna agree with Anthony. I'm gonna say 7. 7 out of 10.
For what? What
for which one?
I'm gonna say both, as a movie and as a Marvel movie. I think it's in my mind, it's like relatively the same thing.
Oh, okay.
I will say a 7. What else did you say? Did I like the movie? I did.
Yeah,
I had an enjoyable time. Yes, I would say that I liked the movie. How about you, Jackie?
Jackie. I would say that for a Marvel movie, I give it a 6, and for a regular movie, maybe a 5.
Oh, wow.
Work.
Shit on it.
Yeah, shit on me.
Work. Well, a 5 is not bad. It's like middle of the road, right?
It's a failing grade.
Yeah, well.
Well, I don't agree with the schooling failing system, but
I didn't ask
the
you.
education system.
You kind of did. This is my podcast.
No, I didn't ask you to describe your reasoning. I just asked you for a number.
Okay, well, what's your rating?
To take the podcast from you. First my rights, then your claim to the other half of the podcast?
It is my podcast. It's also Pat's
but I'm
podcast.
not coming back. That's me with men I hook up with.
Same. Yes.
Don't talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once, because Matt and Jackie are scrubs and haven't seen that film.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another film I need to see, yes. So, Pat, what's your rating?
So, as a Marvel film, I give it an 8.
Oh, great.
But as a film, I would give it like a 4.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Two very different answers. I wonder why.
I think that as a Marvel film, it was a little different because Sam Raimi directed it, and his style was more apparent than if you look at other films, like either by like Jon Favreau or the Russo brothers. Those are more kind of standardized Marvel films. So it really helped that he directed it, and I think it gave you it was such a good movie just because, well, we can get into the plot later, but I do like Wanda's arc and the plot in it. But as an actual film, it's just, I think Sam Raimi's a fun director and did give us a Marvel movie that's unique, but I don't think he's a good director in general, though.
Oh,
So I guess shit on me if you want, but I don't think Sam Raimi's like one of the better directors in general. But I do think him bringing his style to a Marvel film actually panned out very well.
now I don't know Sam Raimi, so can I ask something?
Yeah.
Is his style like more horror-esque? Because I felt
He did Evil Dead.
And
Okay.
the first 3 Spider-Men's
And he
trilogy.
did the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy.
Oh, okay. Because I felt like this was a little bit more on the horror side.
Yeah.
Just like there was a couple jump scares and like the kind of theme of the
Sam
movie.
Sam Raimi did not do the first MCU film because Blade is actually the first Marvel film. It's based on a Marvel comic, and it was the most contemporary one for the 2000s, and it was not directed by Sam Raimi, so eat my ass.
Oh, Anthony also
Sean,
says this
Pat?
was his first directing gig since 2013. I didn't know
I
that
read
either.
that as well.
Yeah, I
He
think
took a
after
long break.
Spider-Man 3, he was kind of like, I need a break.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Yeah,
work.
we all did. We all did from him at that point.
We don't know if that Blade isn't the MCU yet because there are rumors that Wesley Snipes is going to come back with Mahershala Ali for the
Yes.
Blade movie. So
Yeah.
Work.
So I will say about this. I agree with Pat when I really liked Wanda's arc, which is why I felt this was like
economy.
this is like Wanda's movie. Like
Yeah.
the reason I didn't like the plot too much is because Doctor Strange like doesn't really, he plays a part, but like
He just hung out.
he just vibed. Like
He
no,
was swept up in the plot.
yeah, like obviously he's the main actor, right? He's like moving the plot forward, but like there's nothing, I feel like there's nothing about him for this movie. It's all about Wanda, and it's all about the other girl who can travel through
America
the multiverse.
Chavez.
Yes, it's all about her, and it's all about Wanda. It's not really about Doctor Strange. So I don't know why this was a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, so okay, well, next thing I guess would be to talk about the actual plot of the film. So yeah, Wanda kind of takes the lead role, and I think it's rather nice to see that this film wasn't like Endgame, where there was like, or Infinity War, or Thor Ragnarok, where the stakes were like a planet was gonna die or the universe was gonna die. Wanda explicitly states in the film, like, I was built to rule, yet all I want to do is just have my kids. She's like, I don't want to take over the world. I don't want to take over the multiverse. I just want my children. So to have a villain, having a hero turn into a villain, someone you can already empathize with, and then having her reasoning be so empathetic, or something you can empathize with, was very good.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes.
And so it made her arc more compelling, and it made, by contrast, Doctor Strange's presence in the film much more questionable and like sort of not needed.
Oh, Anthony says, fun fact, America Chavez comes from a utopian universe outside of the multiverse where only women exist. That would be a
Fucking
utopia.
work.
That would be a
Fucking
utopia.
work. You know what? Speaking of women, the irony that I just realized is that Wanda is the center of a film. We love to see like essentially a female lead, a female villain. But she doesn't even get like the bragging rights of having the movie being titled after her. The
Yeah.
fucking man gets it. It's his
Yes.
movie, and just dawned on me, and I was just like, Wanda, come on, she needed that.
And then, of course, the two other female-led films in MCU canon that are named after the female characters, Black Widow and Captain Marvel, were both kind of panned by a lot of Marvel fanboys.
Yeah.
But that's because Black Widow did have a lot of plot problems, but
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual quality of films, they're actually good movies. It's just a lot of people don't like women. A lot of men don't like women. Okay, so yeah, Wanda's kind of like the main focal point. So how did y'all feel about Wanda's story from WandaVision into this movie?
You mean like
Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
Jackie.
Where she
Between the two?
left off, and then where she is when the movie starts, and then of course how it progresses. Like, how did you feel about Wanda's arc? Because it's very tied to WandaVision. That's like essential viewing.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen WandaVision, so I will say that for me, it did feel like a bit of a large step for her to get to that point of like, fuck it, I'm just gonna burn through the multiverse and everybody be damned, and yes, I will take the life of a mediocre child who hasn't really figured out her powers in order to get there. I felt like she was just kind of there, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
She had more plot development than Doctor Strange, though. I'm just saying.
Well, that's good. I don't want the white man to have any plot development.
It's true. So I felt like it was a significant leap, and I didn't. While I found it enjoyable to watch Wanda's arc within the movie, I wasn't fully invested in it in some ways because I had a hard time going from where we left off in WandaVision with
the multiverse of Wanda,
WandaVerse, to Multiverse of Madness.
Matthew.
I'm just going to quickly read some comments from the chat because I think there's some interesting points here. John says, it's like Infinity War in that the villain is the main character. Jackie's camera's gone again. It's like Infinity War in that the villain is the main character.
So I can blow my nose.
And then he says, Infinity War doesn't have Thanos in the title. Well, I mean, if you say Infinity War is Thanos' movie, I don't know if I would agree with that.
It's also an Avengers film, you know? It's an ensemble film, and they like using the Avengers title for it.
Yeah.
It would have been nice, because, I mean, she did get her own title for WandaVision, but then again, she shares it with her husband.
That's true.
She took his last name. Her name became WandaVision. The patriarchy continues.
Oh,
come on.
Hey.
Come on.
It's her movie. If you use mom acronym, Black Widow gave us Yelenia, which is all that matters. That's true.
So you want to know what trope I am tired of?
Yeah.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Do you? Okay, well, work.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the trope where the villain, the reason that they give for the villain being the villain is that they're being corrupted by something. So there's this trope where it's like the villain is morally gray, but then the reasoning that they're given is that they're being corrupted. And I'm like, why can't this person be morally gray because they are morally gray and not because they're slowly being corrupted? Object. Yeah, like a god is corrupting them, or they touch some evil object, right? Or like Wanda has the dark hold. Like,
well, you forget that before she even found the dark hold and took it from Agatha, she enslaved a whole town to be her own sort of theater.
Yes, but at the point that we see her in this movie, they paint it like the reason that she's gone batshit crazy is because of the Darkhold and not because she wants to go back to her kids. And I didn't really like that. Otherwise, I loved her arc, generally speaking.
I like what she said, though. She said, because Doctor Strange says, like, the Darkhold corrupts everything it touches, and look what it's done to you. And she goes, the Darkhold didn't do anything. It just showed me that I could have everything I wanted. So I think there was enough bad in her already, given the fact that she enslaved a whole town, to do her bidding for, many days, if not many weeks, depending on how long WandaVision actually took. And the Darkhold was sort of just something that let her be more of that part of herself.
Mm-hmm.
But when WandaVision started, wasn't Wanda unaware? Like, Wanda was unaware of what she was doing. And I kind of forget how it ended, where she remembered what she did.
It was like a highly delusional... Like, she deluded herself so much to believing that it wasn't her fault. And then she realized it, and then she thankfully owned up to it. But she did realize that she had done it, and did feel guilty about it. Yeah. Anyway, it's both. The Darkhold preys on your most wanted desire. So obviously the desire for her kids drove her to doing everything she can. So that's Wanda. Let's talk about Doctor Strange now, the man who's irrelevant. So in the first Doctor Strange film, because Matt and I, and maybe Jackie was there, and I've talked to other people about this, before No Way Home came out, I was like, I really hope Doctor Strange gets some sort of development, because I don't see any difference between him when he first enters the MCU and now. So in the first film, really it's like him coming to terms with the fact that he was an arrogant prick as a doctor. He comes to terms that his hands will never be the same, and that he needs to be a little more selfless and help in this case, the universe from magical threats and becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. And he sort of has to live a more selfless life. But he still messes with time magic in that film and still causes a lot of problems. And then, flash forward to Infinity War and Endgame, he's sort of behaving the same way. He's just a standard hero, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to kind of, win against Thanos, where he sees all of those possibilities and chooses the one that he knows will obviously allow them to win overall. Comes back, and then No Way Home, he's kind of the same. The him dying and becoming dust didn't look like it affected him much as a person. And then in this film, he's still, I don't know, I could see where they were going, because he had to face all of these versions of himself from the multiverse, and all of them ended up kind of evil, or they always dabbled in things they shouldn't have. So he has to kind of come to terms with the fact that it's just who he is in all these universes, that he is just this person who will go the extra mile and do whatever he needs to do to, I guess, protect someone, defeat evil. And I was kind of hoping that they would draw a parallel between him and Wanda, because she's basically doing the same thing. She's doing anything she can to get what she needs. So when he has his whole moment with the Darkhold by the end of the film, and the other Christine Palmer is there, and she's going this is always what you do. You just use, you're going to use the Darkhold to dreamwalk and to it's not good. And he's like, yeah, this is just who I am. I have to do this to save America Chavez. And I was hoping that there'd be a little more dialogue between him and Wanda, where Wanda would be like, yeah, well, I'm just doing this to save my kids. And he's just trying to do it to save his sort of surrogate child. And it would have been a nice way to pair those two plot lines, but they didn't really do that. So
no.
Who's popping off in the chat?
It's mostly Streamlabs, but Anthony says, in No Way Home, he was willing to sacrifice the lives for the multiverse, but this time he let America keep her powers and not kill her. He learned a little bit.
I wish they had made that a little more clear, because I think that's where some of this writing issue comes, where, for example, between WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness, if there was a better way they could have written the change in Wanda from her sort of accepting grief at the end of WandaVision and accepting loss to Multiverse Madness, where she's no longer accepting it. And if they could have written Doctor Strange a little better, where he was more about, okay, we have to protect this one girl because we can't sacrifice any more lives. I think that would have been better if it was a little more clear.
I agreed. And having not seen No Way Home,
Spoiler alert, then.
That's fine. I don't really have any intention of seeing it. I really didn't see a significant change at all in his character from the first movie to, I kind of forgot he was in Avengers, to this movie.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I didn't pick up on until I was reading about it was someone commented that even in the first film of Doctor Strange, you had a lot more of his namesake strangeness in there, and all of that was lost in this film, where he did kind of become that bystander and subject to Sam Raimi's just kind of horror tropes. And I think even that played a factor in overshadowing any chance he had, in the writing, of course, to shine or change.
John says, I feel like his character is hard to have a strong arc. I don't know if that's true, because if the Russo brothers, and I think it was Scott McFeely who wrote Infinity War and Endgame, if they can write Thanos as an empathetic and understandable villain, and he's this giant purple monster with a glove that can kill half the universe. Okay. If they can do that and give him a giant schlong, someone can give Doctor Strange a little more of a empathetic. Yeah, he did learn a little bit, but this was supposed to be, it's his film. By name, it's his film. And he didn't really do much for me.
He wasn't the vibe. I mean, he was vibing, but he was just moving. Yeah. Like I said, he's just a plot device to move the plot forward, as opposed to actually influencing it. I mean, and again, he influences it to drive the plot forward, but he has no other reason for being there.
The scene that I felt he shined the most in?
When he was a zombie?
No, I didn't like that. It was when it had nothing to do with the plot. It was when they were in the pizzeria, and the three of them
Oh, the
strange.
bantering.
Yeah, we're all talking, and it felt, I think, in the whole film, to me, the most enjoyable and natural.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
speaking of the zombie part, the whole part with like the souls of the damned that just came out of nowhere, like they introduced this plot device that they didn't reference at any point earlier in the story. It's just like, I'm gonna go over there and I might be attacked by these things called the souls of the damned, and then he goes and he gets attacked by them and he's like, actually, I'm gonna control them, and then he controls them, and I was just so confused by this. Like, I was like, this kind of came out of nowhere a little bit, and I was like, what's happening?
I think I think this film is packed with a lot of just new content and new ideas for a fan to see. Like this
A fantasy?
No, fan to
No, I know.
see.
I know. A fan.
Whore.
Which sea? What ocean are we talking?
The one by Maine. So,
Called
for
the
example,
Atlantic Coast.
you in this film get the idea of the multiverse. You get the Illuminati. You get the Darkhold's past with Chthon and Mount Wendigo,
Wanda,
whatever the mountain's called, and so you get and you get the Souls of the Damned. Like, you get a lot of new material, and it's just a lot packed in a. It's not a short film, but by Marvel standards, it's a shorter film. It's only 2 hours and I think 7 minutes long or something like that. So, by comparison, it's a shorter film, and it's just packed with so much. And it's just like, it keeps the film fast-paced and entertaining, but it is a lot for, I think, a more regular fan. Christine gave him a confidence boost. Okay, it's kind of, I don't care. I don't care that she did. He should have found something within himself, yet he just keeps leaning on alternate versions of women who'll never love him. And let's not even mention the whole what-if plot line that we can't talk about because Matt and I don't think Jackie have seen it. But there's a whole what-if plot line that deals with Doctor Strange and Christine, and that wasn't referenced at all, and I thought it would have been.
Oh, interesting.
They didn't.
I'll have to watch. Yeah, I haven't watched What If.
The third most important character was America Chavez. Queer icon, 2 mothers, can punch holes through the multiverse, and speaks Spanish and loves pizza.
Live, laugh, love.
What did we think about the newest addition to the Marvel faggotry queer universe?
I feel like it was a wasted opportunity and that they could have done so much more with America Chavez, and they let just so much rich backstory kind of go to the wayside, and she never really had a chance to develop.
Was she supposed to be queer?
Mm-hmm.
She is.
She is, canonically.
When did they reference that in the movie?
Well, she wore a little rainbow thing, and that's the only thing that you get in the movie.
You're kidding me.
Her queerness.
Yeah.
No, like, that's it. And it's small. It's just, like, right here. That's it.
Oh, I didn't even see it. How would I have known?
And the two moms.
Well, yeah, there's
Everyone
the 2
knows
moms.
The 2 moms are gay.
The 2 moms, they have like a nice scene where they look at each other for a second and then they're blown through a hole in the universe and we never see them again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I can't believe China had that part removed just because she said, because America says, my 2 moms. Oh, she says it in Spanish.
And China just cut it out.
And they cut, it was literally, I think they said like 8 seconds of actual dialogue was cut.
Oh my god.
And they although I recently read an article that Disney is now considering or is accepting the fact that they no longer require the Chinese market to make a profit off their films. So hopefully they keep more queer stuff in. She's from a universe of all women, so obviously there'd be 2 moms. But apparently, and then if you grew up with only women, you probably like women, obviously.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
She is queer in the comics. So, woman of color, we love that.
We love to see it.
We love I don't know, she's quirky, she's fun, she's got a cool power, it's very cinematic, obviously, much like all the powers in this film. But how did you feel about her character arc? Or did she even have one? Yeah, did she even have one? Like, really, she was just sort of the thing that Wanda was chasing through the multiverse. Is she just an object? Is she even a person? Does she have any autonomy?
She's
in the
a
film?
woman, so no, she doesn't.
She
have
has
any
no
rights.
autonomy in this film, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She rarely makes decisions for herself. She usually has other people making decisions for her or capturing her, almost killing her. So it was a little nice to get that last scene where she punches Wanda, but she was very ready to just let Strange kill her. She was like, just take my power and end it all.
Yeah, she was.
And so yeah, what do we think? Was it good? We hope to see her again, hopefully.
I do hope to see her again.
I do hope to see her again as well. Like I said, I thought she had more plot development than Doctor Strange did, but that's not saying much. Yeah, I did like the last scene with Wanda, because basically she was showing Wanda what she most desired, and then, you know, it backfiring in her face because the children were very afraid of her, which I thought was a smart idea on her part. But seeing her take control of her power finally at the end with the confidence boost from Doctor Strange was very nice. Was it enough? Probably not. But it was enough.
John says she's just a child. I mean, yeah, she's supposed to be 15, but if you think about it, she's a child that at a very young age suffered a very traumatic experience and then has spent the rest of her life hurtling through the multiverse. You'd think that she would have been a little more... She's not running from her problems. You know, she's in the beginning of the film appears to be like a strong, confident character, but then spends the rest of the film being pulled around into different locations instead of standing up for herself and being more driven. I would assume that someone who's been through that much and explores the multiverse through, I think she said, like, what, 60 or 70 something different universes already, that she would have some level of pluckiness or gumption. But
Work, Diva.
Work.
Jackie, were you trying to say something before I rudely interrupted you?
Oh, no. That was... I agree with all points. Yeah, I agree that she is just a child, and I think that my issue with her character is completely with the writing of the film, because like you said, she is introduced as spunky, and yeah, don't you know X, Y, and Z about the universe? Everywhere has food, find free food, that kind of thing. But then she's shown kind of lacking the agency to make any kind of individual decisions. So I hope to see her again. I hope to see her in maybe more capable writing hands or different writing hands, and not with Sam Raimi.
Oh yeah, John says food's free in most universes. I did
It
love
is.
that little
I love that.
that little play against capitalism that they threw in there.
Yeah.
So Jackie brought up before, or both you did, about this film being more horror driven. So when the film was first announced, it had a different director. It had Scott Derrickson, Derrickson. He was the director of the first Doctor Strange film. And he and Kevin Feige said that this was going to be Marvel's first horror film. Now, I was like, what does that mean? 'Cause, I think Matt and even Jackie, I think we all like horror films. I don't know, actually, Jackie, do you like horror films?
I'll watch them, but I don't go out of my way to see them with friends.
Okay.
What?
So basically, Sam Raimi has directed horror films. Particularly Evil Dead, which is a very campy horror film with Bruce Campbell, who he puts in his films very often in cameo roles. He was the pizza seller in that one universe, Bruce Campbell. So
yep.
My question is about the horror aspects of this film, because Kevin Feige and Sam Raimi have both stated now that this was never meant to be a complete horror film. It was supposed to just kind of introduce horror elements to the MCU, and Sam Raimi's horror is very campy. It can be very gory. Evil Dead is a very gory body horror film, but you can't do that in a Disney Marvel film. But it's very campy horror. So how did you feel about it, and do you think it was effective? Did you think this film even needed horror aspects to it? Did it elevate the film in any way for you, or could this been done as more of just like a regular Marvel, supernatural film?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I didn't think that this really needed those horror aspects. I'm not going to lie. And again, some of that like weird body horror with the zombie was just like, it was all right. Like, again, I didn't really like that part too much because it came out of nowhere from my perspective, from someone who hasn't read the comics or anything. But yeah, I wasn't that into it. I didn't think this movie needed that.
Jackie?
I felt like it detracted from what the movie could have been, and I think it would have been a stronger movie had they not gone in such a horror strong direction. I'm not a big fan of campiness, and while I was entertained and engaged watching it. The more I think about the movie as part of the, MCU, I struggled even during the theater to find some moments not jarring. Like, they were just way too exaggerated, and it ended up taking me out of some of the moments in the film. And I did not enjoy it. And the more I think about it post seeing it, the more I'm like, yeah, no, not a fan.
Right. John said it made Wanda spoopy. Honestly, I think every scene Wanda is in is more or less best parts of the film. And it did help create a more witch vibe for Wanda because she is the Scarlet Witch. So the scene of her crawling through the mirror dimension and out through that little medallion.
Oh, that was fun. That one was fun.
Spooky,
she's all bent and fucked up. And the scene with her, spoiler alert again, in case no one noticed, killing Xavier by basically being a zombie in like her own mind and breaking his neck. Those scenes, well, no one knew how to die in this film because everyone's like, I watched the Captain Carter death scene, I watched the Xavier scene. They look so dumb when they die. I think about the Dark Knight Rises when Talia al Ghul dies and she sort of dramatically just goes, eh. It just they should have done a few more takes with Patrick Stewart and Haley Atwell. Their death scenes were so weird, but the horror I felt like was right on the money for Sam Raimi's campy horror, which is fine. I just don't think it. I think it would have been better if it was more horror. Like, I know they still want to make it funny because it's a Marvel film, but Doctor Strange, the comics are known to involve a lot of cosmic horror because he deals with things of the multiverse and of the universe. So I was hoping for cosmic horror, and then with Wanda, I was hoping for more like just, spooky witch horror, which you got a little bit of, but some of the things were just so campy. It no longer was horror. It was more funny, which I don't want. Like the whole scene of her in that fucking hallway.
Wait, is this what I think? Okay, go on.
And then the door closes on her, and there's like a 5-minute shot of the camera staring at each individual character. And both times I saw this movie, people in the theater audibly said, "Keep moving. Why aren't they running?" And the fucking... I know what it was. That is an homage to The Shining, where fucking what's his name from The Shining? The father is lumbering through the hotel and through the maze, chasing after his wife and son, trying to kill them. I get that that's kind of an homage to that, but it was like 5 minutes of slow-mo panning on 3 different characters.
I hated it.
And then it was just a still shot of the door, and I'm like, she's gonna pop out. Like, you've telegraphed this jump scare so much. These jump scares don't exist because you telegraphed them 8 minutes ahead of time. Like, I get it, but like in an age where we have such modern horror masterpieces like Hereditary, Midsommar, The Witch, it's just so frustrating to see some of these moments that could have actually been scary been wasted on such terrible, like this. Sam Raimi's fine, but like the directing choices, I was like, what are we doing here?
It was bad. One of my favorite moments was when I was texting you about when Wanda was just limping like through the hallway, and I was like, girl had taken like 30 seconds to throw on a fucking pair of flip-flops. She wouldn't have had to limp. But then you pointed out,
can float. She can fly. And she's lumbering around. She can fly faster than she can run. Yet she's just hobbling.
I'm like, why? Can you not?
I was just thinking of The Walking Dead with that. I just like it's just basically a zombie at that point too. This was very zombie-esque. I feel there was a lot of zombies.
There was a lot of zombie horror, and that's kind of what I mean. Like the campiness and the homages and these references and the exaggeration. It really took me out of it. It had me on the hook watching it for some moments, but others not as much. And like there was one quote, I forget what they were talking about, but I think Doctor Strange was saying to Wanda, like, why are you doing this? And she says something along the lines of like, because I'm a mother, or it's something like mothers are magic. Or it was something like that.
Mothers are magic.
And literally, the people behind me laughed, and I did too, because I thought it was supposed to be funny.
Okay, let me look at these comments, and then I have to say something about that as well. Professor X's death was fine. Captain Carter wasn't good.
No,
The
it
Luna
wasn't.
Buddy. Oh my god, they said the same in my theater. I almost burst out laughing. Intro to horror, you can't scare the little kids watching it. She can't feel the pain. She's dream walking. So she can't feel the pain, but yet she doesn't have to lumber around. She could just fly.
Fucking
Like,
float.
yeah, like I don't understand that as much. But going back to what you said about the line. Oh god, what's the line?
I don't know. I might have to Google it.
She's like, I'm not a monster. I'm a mother.
Yes, yes.
And then later when she's at the mountain and she's like, this isn't a tomb, it's a throne. And
Oh, that part was like what?
it's so funny because
on.
some of the writing is really good. Like, especially for Wanda. I think some, like when she says, have America Chavez to me by sundown or else, and Dr. Strange is like, what? She's like, well, then it won't be me coming after her, it'll be the Scarlet Witch. And I was like, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah. Her kind of overlong, drawn out monologue about how she's no longer being, she's still being reasonable even after she's about to murder everyone. And then the scene that's so cunty when she's floating above Kamertage and just infiltrates that one guy's mind, just says run, and the guy runs. Yeah, so cunty.
That served.
It was so good. And then the scene with herself and her other self saying to her, like, just know that they'll be loved.
Yes, I like that part.
I like that part. Like, there is really good writing for Wanda in this film, but then there isn't, and it's like, and that's that sort of campiness to it where I was like, I feel like it didn't have to be, though. You could have gone the extra mile and made it more not grounded, but more drama instead of fun. But yeah, the what mouth scene was also great. The moment she starts murdering the Illuminati what mouth and then she makes the Mr. Fantastic into spaghetti.
Yes. Yeah.
And then she cuts Captain Carter in half. She drops a statue on Captain Marvel. She breaks his
She kills
soul.
everyone. She kills the whole Illuminati. Just gone.
Kills them all.
Yeah. Well, except for Mordo.
Oh, well, yeah. He was busy fucking around with Doctor Strange.
Right.
Which, again, I feel like there was no real purpose of that whole scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do we feel about Wanda just, like, murdering everybody?
Real quick, I found the really bad quote, if you want to hear it.
No, please tell me.
Okay. Wanda, your children aren't real. You created them with magic, Doctor Strange. Wanda, that's what every mother does.
What?
Right, Anthony put it in the chat before, yes.
I missed it, sorry.
That's big mommy energy. Sam Raimi also didn't watch WandaVision, though. He got all the Cliff Notes versions for the end of Kevin Feige. Okay, so John or Anthony sent me a good TikTok really quick about the development of this film. So WandaVision scripts were written, let's say, a very long time ago. WandaVision then went into production and filmed. Multiverse of Madness started production just as WandaVision finished production before those episodes were even released.
Oh.
Also, two different people wrote WandaVision and wrote Multiverse of Madness. And Multiverse of Madness had two different directors that swapped off. Multiverse of Madness was also heavily delayed, which I think is something we can see when you look at some of the VFX in the film, because some of them don't look as good as other VFX of the film.
Doctor Strange's third eye, am I right?
Oh my gosh.
Doctor Strange's third eye looked so awful.
It was bad.
I don't know
bad.
why it looked that awful, but the fucking tentacle monster at the beginning looked lovely.
Great.
Its eye was perfect.
It was gorgeous.
So I don't care that he didn't watch WandaVision. He got basically where she ended up and like what happened in the series to push her into this one. I don't care about that, especially because he didn't write it. Sam Raimi didn't write the film. So whoever wrote it didn't really look back at the WandaVision thing and make it a more clear progression for her. So the film suffered from several different things happening to it, unfortunately. But that's all I want to say about that. Matt, what were you asking before? What were you bringing up?
Oh, I was going to say, how do we feel about Wanda literally murdering everybody?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I'm fine with it. I loved watching it. I just wish the transition from WandaVision to Mom would have been a little smoother and not as jarring.
Yeah, because I felt even though she enslaved a whole town, right, she still wasn't murdering them, right?
Yeah.
Like,
She felt bad. She felt grief.
yeah, she felt bad. She
Felt
was
bad.
sad. And then it's almost like at the end of WandaVision, yes, you see her become the Scarlet Witch, but you also can tell that she like got better over the course of WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like a 180 turn into Mom, where she's just, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, fuck
Did
it.
you guys hear or see the theory that at the end of WandaVision, when she's using the Darkhold and she's floating and she hears her two children somewhere in the multiverse, that is her seeing or hearing the future where she is scaring her own children, because she hears the two children like scream help or mom, and that's actually what is happening in in Multiverse of Madness when she's trying to take the kids and they scream for their other mother to come save them.
I did not.
So that's a wild theory, and I
like
also
that.
it broke me when someone pointed out that the alternate version of Wanda dreams about MCU's Wanda's life and knows how awful it is.
Yeah.
That fucking
Yeah.
killed me. And that's why she's so empathetic to her, because she sees or saw every awful thing. Because think about it, Wanda's been through experimented on as a child. Her parents were killed by Tony Stark's devices. Her brother is dead. She had to kill her boyfriend. She then got her boyfriend back and her children, only to realize that they're fabrications of a deluded mind. She then has to re-traumatize herself by getting rid of them. She has to then play through that grief. She saw her boyfriend's body deconstructed on a slab.
Yeah.
This woman's been through everything, so it's totally understandable that she would snap at some point. But damn, I loved when she murdered all those
Speaking
people.
of her boyfriend, where is he? Because like he was
I'm
he
wondering
was
that
alive at
too.
the end of WandaVision, right?
Well, that's like his reconstructed body, but then it seemed like did it get his memories?
It
Like
did get his
came to
memories.
It
fully-
did.
So like,
Yeah.
where is he?
Where is he?
I
What-
mean, think about it. He's
What are
probably
you
going
doing?
through some existential shit. Like, he's realizing that he's basically a clone of a not living thing.
Okay, but hear me out. As a computer robot, right? You've got incredibly fast processing power, much faster than a
Right.
simple little
You can
meat
process
sack's
some grief.
processing power. Yeah, like come on, keep up.
No, because the whole discussion in WandaVision between White Vision and Vision is that it's that whole fucking thought problem of, if this one ship is rebuilt with the same materials that built the original ship, is it the original ship? And Vision's argument was like, if you have all of my actual body, because White Vision is Vision's body just repurposed, and you have all my memories, aren't you me? And I think the answer was yes, because he has all of his experiences. He has the same body. There'll be a slightly different perspective, but he'll at least know about Wanda, know about his previous life, let's say. It's also because he's a fucking synthesoid robot, all right? Like, if this was a human being, we would have a slightly different conversation.
Yeah.
He's just a robot.
He's a
Yeah,
robot.
but that doesn't
I
help.
heard-
That doesn't help me. If he has
Oh,
other Vision's
yeah.
memories, why wouldn't he seek out Wanda? This is where is he?
Yeah, because I wish, like, while going back to Matt's point about the violence was from a cinematic perspective, kind of fun and engaging, gorier than I thought it would be, but as a person who loves Wanda, wants to support Wanda, I want to see her slay, but that was a couple too many slaying for me. Like, Wanda, we gotta walk it
He
back
girl
from
bossed
the
a
edge.
little too close to the sun.
She did girl boss too close to the sun, and girl, we gotta walk it back a little bit. We're approaching lethal territory.
Do we think
Yeah.
she's dead?
I don't think
No.
she's dead.
I don't think she's dead either.
People pointed out, they were like, why in any of these multiverses were her brother not alive? Like, why didn't she go to a
Yeah.
multiverse where her brother was
Yeah.
alive and Vision was there? Like,
Yeah.
isn't there a multiverse where, like, she's dead, they're alive, and the kids are alive, and she could just come in and
And
their
be
stepmother?
Wanda.
So that ties into a plot point, a trope that I have an issue with throughout media portrayal, and I've talked about this a little bit before, is that I feel like in media, mothers are so, like...
Oh, so women are only mothers and mothers can only be women now. Is that what you're saying?
Oh my God! Here we
fuck
go.
Women, God damn it, I did it again. God damn it, Pat. Mothers are put on such a pedestal, and their characters, their entire like personality is built around them being a mother. And there was so much more to Wanda. I'm sorry, Wanda, besides the children that came into your life for like 2 days. You had Vision, and you had like all these other people around you. And it felt like a bit of a betrayal of character that she wasn't seeking out Vision or her brother or any of those other people.
Yeah, I mean, right, like those kids were her kids, but then again, in the Hex, like you could imagine that she did experience time differently. Yes. So she may have had a whole life with these kids, or however old they were. Like, yeah, she would look at them and be like, "Whoa, you're older now," but like those experiences might have felt different for her. But yeah, it's weird that there's several things that are weird about this movie. Like, No Way Home was originally supposed to come out after Multiverse of Madness, but it got swapped. It was supposed to actually introduce America Chavez, and it was America Chavez that was actually going to lead to a lot of things that happened in No Way Home, but then they swapped it around. So now I thought that No Way Home would play a bigger role, but it didn't. Like, a lot of people thought, oh, Doctor Strange's messing around with the multiverse in that film would lead to the events of Multiverse of Madness, but it didn't. And then I thought, okay, maybe more things from WandaVision would matter. Something like Monica Rambeau or White Vision, or Agatha even, but it really didn't have anything it was its own. It's great that it's its own movie, but it didn't have anything really to do with the previous stuff. And as the MCU is known for both interconnected films and non-interconnected films, this is the one I really wanted to be more interconnected to the rest of the plots. How do you feel about it?
Are you asking me or are you asking Jackie?
I was gonna let you go. I'm looking at you right in the eyes, Matt, and it's just weird that you're not.
My eyes are up here.
I cannot tell what you're looking at. I cannot tell what you're looking at.
Your big fat cock.
Okay, work.
I'm not confirming or denying.
You can look at that later. I'll send you snaps.
Oh, look, Radhika's here.
Radhika.
Okay, Radhika. Oh, wait. We have to give a disclaimer. Radhika, you joined a Multiverse of Madness spoiler session, which is in the title of the stream as well. So if you do not want to, because Matt spoiled something already for Attack on Titan. If you don't want Multiverse of Madness, leave for about I don't know what, like 20 more minutes, and then we're probably gonna end it up.
Yeah, maybe like 10 more minutes, and we can wrap up.
Yeah, 10 more minutes, and then we're gonna be playing games afterwards, probably. So
Radhika says, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch it." Okay.
Okay. Well, then stick around.
Yeah,
then.
It's fine. I agree. This is not sarcasm. I agree. It's not worth. You don't need to.
Anyway, so interconnectedness between the films. I like certain movies not being as interconnected. Like, I really liked Shang-Chi and how you could watch that movie and not know anything about the Marvel Universe, and it's still a good movie.
I mean, because I'm too busy drooling over Simu Liu.
I was going to actually say that, yeah. For you.
His fucking tits.
Ugh.
Actually, Mengar Zhang, the woman who plays his sister, also someone to drool over.
Oh my god, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're both very drool-worthy. That end scene with her, I'm not going to say it, but that end scene of her...
You serve cunt.
Work.
Anyway.
Anyway, I think this movie could have been one because it features multiple characters from the MCU. I feel like it could have been a good one where it was more interconnected. Because you have some movies which involve a lot more people. Like I forget, Captain America: Civil War had like a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Very interconnected movie, and I think that was. It was worth that, like, to have that really interconnected movie to build up to the next plot lines that were coming along for the Avengers. I felt like that could have been that for, Doctor Strange and Wanda, perhaps some other characters. But, again, it did feel kind of disconnected from everything else that was going on.
Yeah. So, go on, Jackie. Go on.
I was going to say, I feel like it's kind of weird to me, and I did not know the plot of No Way Home until now, that you had 2 multiverse movies and there's, like, no interconnectivity. Is that basically true? Like, essentially No Way Home had no greater or larger impact.
No Way Home did not have any impact on this film.
So, like, girl, you're kind of discrediting the power of the multiverses in a way to me. Like, if you're fucking around messing with all these multiverses, I feel like there should have been more significant consequences by the time we got to the Multiverse of Madness, because there's really no madness. They kind of just take a trip and they come home.
Yeah, I think it's
pretty succinct.
That's
I think
true.
It's everything that's happening after, because also Loki, the consequences of Loki should have influenced this. Matt, you haven't watched it, right? Or did you?
I saw Loki. Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, so. Those consequences, and Kevin Feige has even stated that finale is the only reason you have No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. So you'd think that would have been a little more interconnected as well. Yeah. It wasn't, but the idea of the post-credit scene with the beautiful Charlize Theron.
Oh, yes.
I saw her, and I was like,
oh, girl. Oh, girl.
She's playing Clea, who is a known love interest of Doctor Strange, a magician. And she talks about an incursion because Doctor Strange recently was in a different multiverse, so two universes are colliding and they have to presumably go stop it, and she tears a hole into what looks like the dark dimension. So I think this film suffers from setting up too much and wrapping up Wanda's plot line, in my opinion, in a not so great way.
Yeah, I like Wanda's plotline until she kills herself, but
yeah. At that point, I was like, girl,
I think there is there is a trope, obviously, of female characters in particular, going insane, stricken with grief, and doing terrible shit, which she all did. But given her past, I understand it. And given the Darkhold corrupting her, I understand it. All the cards were there. It was the perfect storm for her to go insane. I just wish they hadn't just copped out to the she's gonna kill herself trope. Now, I don't think she's actually dead, obviously, but the movie presents it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just, because the question then becomes, well, if she's alive, like, what's the consequences of her action? I was like, well, that's
probably
something.
Nothing.
That's something to think about, and that's an interesting thing to go into in any following, like, any installment that comes after. But you can't have that conversation now because she's, presumed dead. So I think that would have been a much more interesting way to end the film, with her actually alive and having to deal with the consequences of what she's done.
Bum bum bum.
So we're like an hour in, right?
Yeah, we're an hour in. So why don't we? Are there any final parting thoughts on this movie? And then we'll do would you, could you, should you, and then we'll leave.
Just catching up on chat real quick. Radhika says, did someone say Charlize Theron? Yes. Change the past doesn't change your future, and the engineer says Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit. I agree. I don't like Back to the Future, but that's for also other reasons.
Oh,
I would say
that's a hot take. That's a hot take.
Yeah, I don't like it. Is that it was an enjoyable film in the moment, upon reflection and its point in the overall MCU universe. And oh wait, we had one chat question. I don't think we addressed it. Where was it?
Did we?
What are y'all's ranking of this movie among the other MCU
Yeah,
ones?
so John sent me this little... Oops. How about this? After this stream, I can look at this whole tier list.
Oh, okay.
After this episode, we can go into that tier list, because that'll be a lot of work to do, because it's ranking every single Marvel property.
Oh, we could stream that.
Wow.
We can stream that in a different stream. Maybe not this one.
Well, we can do that.
If on the tier list, like, they usually have like the S as like the best of the best, then like A, B, C, D, and F. I'd probably give this movie like a C.
Maybe a D for me.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, because like it's just, I have to think about it in two ways, because I'm like, as an enjoyable watch, I really enjoyed watching it. Like, I enjoyed watching Wanda do what she wants to do. Bless you, Jackie. But as a film, it's not good, in my opinion, in terms of like an actual film. So it'd probably be a C as well. So yeah, final thoughts. The only thing I want to bring up is, there's like so much hype going on in this movie, or like before the movie came out. There's so many cameos, and there's a lot happening in the film. And is Marvel, especially in their films, becoming like too big? Like, the fans catch wind of a rumor and like just run with it. Trailers spoil a lot of the film. Like, I think these trailers were bad. Like, I didn't like how much they showed. The first trailer was fine, but then all the subsequent trailers just kept showing more and more that I think they should have not showed. And now there's just like every film now people are like, well, if I don't get 18 different cameos and if I don't see 3 Spider-Man and if Hugh Jackman doesn't come back as Wolverine, I'm not going to like it anymore. And I'm like, did we forget that the MCU is just an adaptation of Marvel properties? And like, if you want that, there are comics that you can like. The MCU is never going to give you comic book accuracy.
Yes.
It's never going to give you exactly that sort of thing because that's not what it is. It's a completely different medium. It's film, and it's not trying to be, and that's why I think it succeeds. It's not trying to take Secret Wars and adapt it exactly as it was written. It's not taking House of M and adapting it exactly how it's written, and I think that's a benefit to it. So people just are expecting more and more and more from the films because they're so big now, but like, you have to relax.
I think the cameos are just fine in the post-credit scenes. Like, I feel like that's where they're supposed to be, right? Like in the cameos, in the post-credits, like, oh, here's a cameo to foreshadow a potential like collaboration between these two, characters in the future, or to set up something else in the future for those characters. I think that's fine. I don't know about other cameos. I mean, obviously the Spider-Man No Way Home cameos was fun, because that kind of sets up the whole multiverse thing. But other than that, I don't think, I kind of like, again, your standalone movie like Shang-Chi where there's not a lot of cameos.
I think it could be, I kind of think it is getting too big, and I feel like Marvel is losing control of a cohesive direction of where they want media to go and how they're kind of gonna all tie into this phase 4. And I think if you look at some of the tropes and if you look at the trailers, I think what shows about Multiverse of Madness is that this was an easy money grab and it did exactly what it needed to do for the overall Disney franchise.
I mean, I think especially now when you have more and more content to compare it to, and not just other films but also the Disney Plus shows, it is going like the bad, not bad, but like the content of worse quality is going to become much more noticeable as you have more and more content to compare it to, because when they first came out you didn't have other really big superhero films besides a select few that did very well in the box office, like certain Batman films and certain X-Men films to compare it to, and the original Spider-Man trilogy. But now you can compare it to itself within the MCU.
Yes.
And if you look at a show like WandaVision, which is a really good story about a woman's grief, and then you look at some of these films that are a little more subpar in their storytelling, especially with their treatment of women, it's just a little surprising, and it's going to hurt them in the long run unless they have a very cohesive film or cohesive idea. So phase 4 has been just kind of all over the place in terms of overall plot lines, quality, content, but that's just what it is. It's probably I think phase 4 is going to be a very in-between phase between their next big sort of plot they want to do and what they did with the first 3 phases.
And to be fair, I think they did say that at some point. Like, it takes time because now we've had this conclusion of the first 3 or whatever phases that was with those characters, and it does take time to build up to really come to love the next generation. I do hope, kind of like what you were saying, that they maybe get the pace a little bit more on track, or quality check, women's rights maybe, I don't know.
Women's suffrage?
Don't have women suffering. That's what mom.
Yeah.
Women suffering, yes,
really,
Wanda.
Really
Chat says, honestly, first Thor and Cap were rough. They were rough films, but
Yeah.
I would say that once they hit their stride at the end of phase 1 and went all the way through phase 3, I think most of the films are actually pretty watchable. Ragnarok saved Thor. You should watch the first Spider-Man film, so Radhika, you should watch the first Spider-Man movies for No Way Home prerequisite.
I would say watch the Tom Holland ones first, and then watch No Way Home. I don't think I think
Radhika has seen the Tom Holland ones, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. I don't really think you need to see the other Spider-Men, like the Andrew Garfield, the Tobey Maguire ones, in order to enjoy No Way Home.
You don't have do, but it's kind of nice. And you know, the Spider-Man 1 and 2 by Sam Raimi are good films. They're like, they are fun.
I mean, yeah, you can watch. You will enjoy No Way Home more if you watch the other Spider-Man film. But you don't have to. Like, you can still enjoy the story, I feel, without it. How important you can enjoy it without, I will say. But good to do so. Let's wrap up. Let's do a would you, could you, should you. I have one. Ready?
Oh, well, go, yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh boy.
Doctor Strange.
Oh boy.
Wanda.
Oh well, it's easy.
And
So easy.
the Sorcerer Supreme, the other one, who I forget his name.
Wong.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna kill Doctor Strange.
Oh.
I'm gonna fuck Wanda and marry Wong.
Okay, work.
Okay, work.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to marry
going-
Wanda?
No, she's got too many problems, and she
Okay,
wants
work.
kids.
Fair.
And I don't want kids.
It's fair.
Work.
But Wong will take care of you.
Wong will take care of you. I think that's a strong. It's a strong set.
Yeah.
What about you, Jackie?
We're getting the Asian man's name racism. Well, Jackie is. You know what's so funny? His name is Wong in the film, and his last name in real life is Wong. So how could you forget?
I'm sorry,
And
he
his
was kind
first
of a
name-
side character.
It's Benedict, right?
It's Benedict, and Benedict Cumberbatch plays
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. I hate it.
So crazy. Wow, what are the
It's
odds? Wong
so
for
crazy.
Wong. So let's see. I think I would probably kill Strange.
Everyone hates
fuck
Strange.
Wong
Ooh,
and marry Wanda.
you can fix her.
No, I don't think I would. I don't think I want to, but hear me out. She's kind of powerful, and I think it'd be really valuable to have. Like, she could probably give me a kayak. She could probably just dreamscape me a kayak. We don't, like, you know, it could be a marriage entitled.
Fucking Wanda kills the whole Illuminati. Someone walks in. I can fix her.
I can fix
I
her.
can fix her.
Classic lesbian trope.
Matt, what would you do?
I think my answer would probably be the same as yours, Pat, in which I would
Yeah.
kill Doctor Strange, marry Wong, and fuck Wanda.
She can dreamscape you to Maine.
Oh my god.
Knew that was gonna come up. I
I'll
skirted
bow in
around
his
it with
presence.
the kayak.
I'll bow right over, and Wong
Oh
can
my
show me exactly what he's
God.
gonna do with his fucking Sorcerer Supreme dick at that point.
Oh my goodness.
Jackie, do you have one, or do you want me to go first?
I don't know if I have one. You go ahead. I'll try to think.
Okay,
Of one.
let me think of one.
Work.
I can't believe brother could drag me so hard.
That was beautiful.
Marry, fuck, kill.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange.
Kill.
Zombie Doctor Strange.
Oh.
Or the sinister Doctor Strange with the third eye.
Just all three Doctor
Okay.
Stranges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to have to marry a original Doctor Strange, I guess.
Ew.
Well, you want...
No, I think we're gonna have the same answer.
I'm going to kill the zombie, because I'm not going to fuck the zombie, because that's
No.
necrophilia?
Not into it. It's just not my kink.
It's not my thing. And
Okay.
then I guess
guess
I'll...
he's alive, but
I guess
still.
I'll fuck the sinister Doctor Strange. He might be into some kinky shit. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, fuck his third
Okay.
eye. Can we kill all of them? Main character. Jackie's giving main character energy.
I'm giving main character energy.
Oh my god,
so I
main
guess I'm
character.
next. That's very funny. No, my answer would be the same because I'm not gonna mess with that decrepit dong energy. It could fall off. I don't know. You don't know. I don't want it. I don't want it near me. I don't want to look at him. No. Mm-mm.
I think I would, I would marry Zombie Strange. I would.
Why? Okay, work. I mean,
I would fuck Sinister Strange, and I would kill Doctor Strange.
work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
say what
I
you
did-
would do, Jackie? I forget.
I did. It was the
Yeah,
same as you.
they just
Okay.
said it.
I did
right.
just say it.
I blacked out, I think. I think I blacked out.
It's okay. I think you were daydreaming about zombie.
Zombie Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie, Jackie, do you have one?
It's gonna
I was
take
trying to
more
think
than
of one.
killing me to kill me. That was an awful line. I
Oh.
just want to say that.
Decrepit
It's
dog!
take more than
It was
killing
so
me to
bad.
kill me.
It was
And then
so bad.
and then him winking at America Chavez, and he's like, "Go kick this witch's ass." I was like, "Shut
I was like,
the
no,
fuck up."
no, I don't like this. I don't like it. T says the words I didn't need to hear in a sentence.
Decrepit dong.
And I also don't. Really quick, did anyone like the musical fight scene?
I thought visually it was interesting, but I like auditorially, acoustically, I don't know. I kind of found it a little bit overwhelming, actually.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Cacophony.
It was. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't. It was more campy stuff, and I was like, can we just like it?
Can we just
if
do
if
this?
Sinister Strange has the Darkhold, why is he using? First of all, I'm surprised Doctor Strange could beat him if he had the Darkhold. And why was the Darkhold so easy to destroy? Why, if you stab it with
why
a
was
knife,
it?
it burns? And why was
Yeah.
it so easy to destroy the opposite of it, the Book of Ashanti? Strange gets blasted, and then the book just burns. And I was like, why are these? Do people not make it out of good material? Why are they just burning so easily? They're books of extreme magic. You can't break an Infinity Stone without almost dying.
Okay.
Like, you could just stab the book.
This is why I have this movie as a D. And I think now it might be like going less on my 10 scale. I think we're at like a 5 or 4. We're getting lower and
Tom
lower.
Riddle
Okay.
Diary, Basilisk
All right.
Fang.
Before we get back into talking about the movie, let's end it here. Unless Jackie, do you have a would you
what
could you
if
should you for us?
Okay.
anything.
Vision,
Okay, work.
Wanda, and Matt.
Me?
Yeah, marry, fuck, kill. Pat, what would you do?
Well, I'm definitely gonna.
And you can pick wherever they are in the MCU timeline for
Right.
their character.
I'm gonna kill Vision,
Oh,
Glad you didn't kill me.
marry
Yeah.
Wanda, and then
we
fuck
take it to
Matt.
me.
Great.
Oh, sweet.
Now wait, how am I supposed to respond?
I don't know.
I'm gonna kill myself.
When I've been the subject, I've responded,
Okay, work.
which I have been, and certain people killed me.
I don't know how you could know that. You don't listen to the podcast.
Even if that word shoot, Matt clips it for me and sends it to me to
know.
make sure I listen to it.
Because he knows you can't sit down for 45 to 50 minutes to watch a podcast or listen to it.
Listen. Let's see. I would.
I didn't get my answer.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. If you, I thought you needed more time. Okay. Go
No.
ahead.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna marry Vision,
Wait,
and I'm gonna fuck Wanda.
The ghost of you is gonna do this, or are you
Well,
gonna
this is
kill yourself
multiverse.
last?
I'm gonna
This is
kill myself
multiverse.
last.
Oh, I thought this was like maybe multiverse you. Okay.
No, this is him.
Oh,
him. He wants
multiverse me. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely killing
I
multiverse.
thought
Like
of that
variant
just
me.
now.
Yeah, I'm killing variant me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna then marry Vision and fuck
Sure.
Wanda. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is a hard one because I love all three of you differently. Let's see.
Okay.
I will.
Oh God! I forgot I still have the sound alerts on. And
Oh no, I'm so glad.
Oh, thank you, Trevor,
So
for
glad-
that.
so
For that,
glad
I
to
love
hear
that.
That's what
Um,
that does.
That's gonna come through in the
Ooh.
podcast. Sorry,
good.
everybody.
Let's see. I would. Oh gosh, I guess I would kill.
Wait.
What? What? What?
Okay.
Oh, it's Patrick Starr saying "I love you." I thought it was me for a moment. Like the fuck?
Okay. Just briefly. I'm gonna. Can everyone not use the sound alerts while we're doing the podcast? After we're done with this, we can continue doing this.
Oh my god.
Wait, Pat, how can you hear them?
No, I turned the volume on really quick just to hear it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So Jackie, go on with what you were saying.
So, Matt, I think I would. No, I'll get to you next. I will. Vision?
Okay.
Okay.
Wanda, and I guess marry Matt.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have to.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Wendy Williams.
Okay. Oh my god.
Okay, let's end the podcast before this gets out of hand. Thank you everybody for sitting in. Anyone who's sitting in the stream, we are going to play a game after this, so please stick around. Anyone else who's listening to the podcast afterwards, thank you so much for listening. We're going to go ahead and sign out. Follow us on Twitter at WDTGT Podcast. Come, subscribe to our stream if you want to get the notifications for when we do these live episodes. That's What Do the Gamers Think, GAYMERS. If you want to join our Discord server, the link is in the description. And also, if you want to submit answers to our Would You Could You Shouldas that we proposed today, you can go ahead and do that by following the link in the description as well. Or you can send us an email at whatdothegaysthink@gmails.com, and we'll read your responses.
Lick a tongue, that's how I eat ass.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And I am Matt Klubeck.
And I am... Mommy? No, sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy. Sorry.
And I'm the missing cohesive plot line from this movie.
Great. Goodbye. Yeah.